Today, our learning objectives are to identify 7 different types of figurative language. We want to recognize the connotative meanings of words and or phrases, and we also want to use context clues to determine the author's purpose in using those words and phrases. So here's the main question. What is figurative language? Well, figurative language is a word or a phrase that doesn't have a normal, everyday, literal meaning. It is used by the writer for the sake of comparison or for dramatic effect. So the author uses it to catch your attention. They don't mean for you to take it literal. It's just for dramatic effect to pull you into their book or poem. There are a few different types of figurative language. We have similes, metaphors, personification, alliteration, onomatopoeias, hyperboles, and idioms. Each of these are very important, and they both bring something great and a new dynamic to your writing. But in this lesson, we're going to be focusing on just a few of them. Today, we're going to be focusing on metaphors, similes, and personification. So what is a simile? A simile is just a figure of speech that uses the words like or as to compare one object or an idea to another and suggest that they're alike. To show an example of a simile, I have the quote from Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. The very mystery of him excited her curiosity, like a door that had neither lock nor key. In this sentence, we're able to spot the simile here because of the word like. But to gain a better understanding of what a simile is, what two things are they comparing here? They're comparing her curiosity to a door that has neither lock nor key. This is a very interesting quote, and it gives you something to think about. See how the author used this sentence to make us wonder and to draw our attention? So what is a metaphor? It is pretty much the opposite of a simile. Kind of the same, but still very different. A metaphor states a fact or draws a verbal picture by using a direct comparison. It does not use like or as like a simile does. So for example of a metaphor here, I have a quote from Benjamin Franklin. A good conscience is like a continual Christmas. Metaphors are slightly harder to spot than similes are because they don't have a big red like in the middle of them to help you spot them in a sentence. But we can see the metaphor here by noticing a direct comparison between a good conscience and a continual Christmas. Benjamin Franklin is also using connotative meaning in his word choices here. He is saying that a good conscience will make you feel like it is Christmas Day every day. We'll talk more about connotative meaning in just a second. Next, we're going to talk about personification. So personification is just a figure of speech where a human characteristics are given to an animal or to an object. To show an example of personification, I use this quote from I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud by William Wordsworth. 10,000 daffodils I saw at a glance, tossing their heads in a sprightly dance. So here we can see a very whimsical sentence. The author here is bringing attention to the daffodils' movement by saying that they're dancing. He is giving the flowers a human characteristic, so this is an example of personification. Next, we're going to discuss our question from earlier. What is connotative meaning? Well, connotative meanings is the emotions and associations that are connected to a word. Depending on our experiences, certain words can have a positive, negative, or a neutral connotation. With a connotative meaning, we pull instances from our personal experiences and our backgrounds. Like sometimes we may use specific words to help get our ideas across. So for example, I have a few words here that we can use to find the connotative meanings. So first, we have the words young, immature, juvenile, and youthful. Can you tell here which of these words have a positive and a negative connotation? Well, when you're referring to someone who is immature or juvenile, you're normally trying to present them in a negative light, whereas young and youthful could be positive words, and they could be used to make somebody feel good or to present a youthful or a young appearance. It's a very positive connotation related to those two words. Next, we have the words confident, secure, proud, and egotistical. Confident and secure are the more positive connotative meanings here. Proud and egotistical are again like immature and juvenile. They are normally used to present somebody in a bad light or negatively. You don't hear anybody praising somebody for being proud or egotistical. While confident, secure, proud, and egotistical all mean the same things, if you're trying to present a more positive story or a positive character, you probably want to use words like confident and secure, whereas you would use proud or egotistical for a bad character or a villain. Next, we have the words talkative, conversational, chatty, and noisy. If someone is saying that you're talkative or you're conversational, they're normally meaning that it's a good thing, that they enjoy your conversation, or they are just pointing out some positive characteristics. Whereas if they say you're chatty or noisy, they're normally bringing forth a bad light. They don't think it's a positive characteristic, and it may be annoying, and it just brings that feeling of negativity into the writing. You may use chatty or noisy to comment on a character of like a small child or maybe just somebody that you don't like or you don't agree with.